All right, guys, it's time for a Crit City race, and here I am in Crit City. This is the downtown Dolphin. So this is the Crit City course where you climb the cobblestone hill, and then the downhill is sort of the up and down Dolphin thing. This was a Friday night race. There was a 30, it says 20, I think 33 people were in the race. And I was pretty happy with my result. This is probably my fourth or fifth race of, this winter's racing season here. So let's go over a few basics. The way to lose before the race even starts is not to be warmed up. And I wasn't warmed up. I didn't warm up. But I didn't have time and I just went for it. So right now, about 5 seconds before, you can see I'm winding up. You've got to start in a sprint. It's funny. It's like, imagine if you were in a real race and you were like you could somehow charge up your bike with a big old flywheel and then engage it with a clutch or something, and you take off like spinning tires. That's basically what happens in a Zwift race. And if you don't understand that, you're going to struggle right from the beginning. You want to have 400 or 500 watts. And you can see if you start good and strong, you can lay off the gas. It's 10 seconds in, I'm already down to 200 watts. So this was not a real hard race start. I was prepared for a harder start. And I'm just having to do 200 to 300 watts here to stay in the pack. So Crit City races, they're pretty fun. They're usually pretty short. This one's 8 laps. The problem with them is that there really isn't a lot, whether or not you have power-ups or whatever. Tactically, these races tend to just play out the same. They're almost always, every one I've done seems to be a race of attrition. So you start off like just dropping people at the start. You can see a pack of usually around, in this case, 16 of 33 riders has formed, or maybe 20 of 33 riders. So we've dropped a third of our pack, already. And from this point on, it's just going to be slowly. Most of these guys are going to hang on till the end. So before they had category enforcement, and this was a category enforcement race, before we had category enforcement, I really struggled. I think races were, a lot of people sandbagged. I know I sandbagged. I used to do D races just for fun. And you can see right here, I've already kind of started to tail off the back, and the strategy going into this race was just hang on. I did the same course last week or earlier this week. I did the same course and I was feeling really good. I went in with like a 30-minute warm-up. I was feeling great, and I rode really strong on the front, and then I felt kind of flat at the end. So I thought I would try to do the opposite, and so I kind of laid off there, and it almost caught me out. I mean, I was like having to do quite a few watts to catch on. So being a bigger guy, I think I was like the third heaviest person in the race, and being a bigger guy, I always find myself kind of rolling to the front on this downhill section, and then I have to cut back to watts a lot. So there's the course, and here is the straight. Now, in a typical finish, really, like if this was a real crit, the top 3 or 4 people to make it around this corner are really probably going to be the only ones that can win, because you have 500 feet or less. You don't have very long. You've got less than a tenth of a mile to the finish, and that turn right there is super important. So leading up to the hill, understanding the course is important, and those blue spiky banners at the top right there in this section are your reminder. That's you're getting ready to climb the hill. You need to be ready. You'll see kind of like a lot of people before that section. You see, I was always doing 100 some watts before that section, but a lot of people start to wind it up. You want to have, it's like in Zwift, you always want to wind up early, because the power transfer, it's all going through calculations, and it takes 3 seconds for your power meter to actually register, hey, he's really cranked up or she's really cranked up the power. So I was kind of on alert after that, and it's always after the climb you know, right after the little finishing drag there. So this race did have power-ups. I would honestly just as soon races not have power-ups. To me, they're kind of annoying. I guess they could occasionally be fun. But in this race, it seemed like we got the same, seemed like most people got the same power-up over and over again. I don't know if it was like every lap you'd get everybody gets the same power-up. But this drafting boost, none of these power-ups really seem to be that big of a deal. So it's so hard to make in these Zwift races. It's so hard to split the field, and instead what you have is you just have people getting trailed off, right? Because since there's no, you know, at anywhere in the field, your power output is, you can put you don't have to, you can ride right through people. So it doesn't matter if you're in the back, in the front, whatever. If you're in the back and you see somebody starting to go, then you just go faster, you ride through people, you get to the front, it's no big deal. You don't have to worry about getting blocked. And so I think that means that it's really, I think that's one of the reasons why it's really easy for people to always kind of just catch breakaways. So, you know, you get caught out, maybe you're not ready, you fall back a few seconds. It's going to be really, really hard to catch up. You're going to have to put a big effort. So as long as you stay in that draft, you know, you're pretty good, and hopefully somebody's there to pull you in if you get caught out a little bit. But tactically, these races are, you can also tell training wise, I've been told training wise, Zwift races aren't really that great, because you can see here I'm in a C category race now, but I'm only having to do, like, in times way less than 200 watts, sometimes 120, 130. It's sort of like if you, it kind of like feels like doing an FTP test, except for, you know, you only have to crank it up in certain times, and other times you can put it down and do a little bit less. But you always got to be ready for those blue banners, get the hill climb. Looking around, I mean, I was noticing people. It's hard to really, like, if you don't race with the same people all the time, it's hard to really notice. But the guy in the super colorful jersey over there on the left, he pretty much blasted this hill every time. I mean, he tried to get separation every time. And I found out on Zwift Power later, he was the heaviest guy in the race. He was like 99 or 100 and something kilograms or something like that. So he definitely was putting out insane levels of power on that climb. And he got separation every time. It's not actually that hard to get separation in a Zwift race. It's hard to keep the separation. You know, you can get the separation, but then you have to keep the power on, and people will always chase. And if this was a real race, it'd probably be the same, but I mean, there's no reason why you couldn't let that guy dangle out in front by himself for a lap or two and just, you know, enjoy having somebody off the front. Everybody else could take it easy, but you know, you don't have that in Zwift. People are just like chase. So let's go to the last lap here. I'm thinking at this point that I may have a chance of doing well, but I didn't warm up, and I really wasn't feeling well, but I'd been able to hang on. My heart rate wasn't too bad, but I felt uncomfortable. Like I never felt like this was easy. I was always struggling. Like I had tightness in my left arm and chest, and it just always felt harder than my heart rate really indicated. But I decided to make a go of it here. You know, when you're under a mile and you're in the front pack, I mean, you're probably not going to get dropped, you know, until the end. So the last lap, you can see it's maybe just a little harder, but not much harder. And nobody really wants to lead, so you can see it's pretty easy to let the power slip off. And if you were going to attack, this might be a great time to do it. Everybody goes pretty hard on this hill, and really from this cobblestone hill to the end of the lap, it's full on. You can see I've hit 500 watts here on this climb, probably the highest. Oh, the guy that was attacking the whole every time, he just stopped on the hill. I guess he just died right there. The super colorful dude. I love that jersey. I don't know what it is. So you see, I'm in bad shape right now. I mean, I'm tailed off. And if this was a real race, I'm not probably going to get back on. I mean, I have a hard time seeing myself get back on, but we do it, you know. I mean, I get past Maxi there. The dude, he kind of drifted back, and I thought, well, I'm gonna catch on the downhill. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna catch on the downhill, but I've been doing 300-400 watts ever since the climb, and as I expected, I'm gonna catch on. Now I've got the aero helmet, and I've got the aero power up, so I'm thinking, hey, I'm in really good shape, but I think everybody's got one. Last time I went too fast. I wanted to be the first man through the corner. I actually drafted a guy through the corner. Maxi's back in front of me. You can see Connor's in front of me. I should be sprinting right now, but I'm not. I don't start to sprint till just now. I flip on the aero boost and I start sprinting. Look at that. Everybody else is always sprinting, and I hit max power at the finish line. I hit 800 some watts at the finish line, and I never really fully got max power, so I probably need to start sprinting right around the corner, maybe just right after the corner. I waited maybe 2 seconds. How many seconds? Let's just see really quick. How many seconds did I wait? Okay, right now I've set down. I remember I was like, okay, I don't want to be off the front. I don't want to be like the second man and go on a breakaway here and get caught. I want to be in the pack and sprint with the pack. And so I go around the corner at 2:16, and I don't really start sprinting till about 2:22. I was thinking to myself, I'm going to make this into like a seated sprint, and it just was like a terrible idea because I needed to put that 800 watts in before the finish line, and I probably could hit 1,000 if I was really motivated and I had time to wind it up better. Because I mean, I remember the sprint, I was going all out at the finish line, but the way, you know, Zwift works and stuff, that power, that 800 watts, I'm probably accelerating past the finish line faster. I just waited too long. So getting the timing right is important. Last time I didn't record that race, but I went all out, you know, well before the corner, that final corner, and I was me and another guy were well clear of the pack, and I thought it's going to be me because I'm going to pass this guy, and then he kind of petered out, and then I petered out. So anyway, timing is essential, but it says 17th, but that's between the B and the C racers. So in actuality, I did 5th place, and I'm pretty proud of my 5th place because I had zero warm-up. I had worked all day. This was just jump on the bike and do a race. I know if I'd spent 30 minutes kind of warming up and getting ready, it would have been better. So very happy that I could get that effort in a C race and you know, feel good doing it. See you guys.